Hello, I'm Brandon Doyle, and this is my week 8 and final assignment for Introduction into Ammunition and Basic Ballistics. Today is July 23rd, 2025. Let's get started. Today, I'm going to help you find out how we can get the measurements on these cartridges. That way, we can actually find out what they are. Because if you're anything like me, I'm, just still learning, there are way more cartridges than I even thought possible. And let me tell you, if you don't know it by the markings on the bottom, measuring them will help you figure that out. I'll also be giving a quick history of the 5 cartridges I have down here. As you can see, they are dismantled. First, I will be doing a quick drawing by tracing the cartridges and the rounds. That way, we can also put our measurements right next to it, giving us a better look and idea of what they look like and the length of them. Now that I got that done, we will measure them. Start by measuring the head. 308. The neck. 312, actually. Right. Next, the shoulders. 447. Right. Next, the body. 104.5. Now, the rim. 529. Now, the length of the projectile. 1.226. Let's see the diameter of this. 284. As you can see, I also did the 9mm 38 Special 30-30 Winchester off screen because, well, you gotta save some time for relevance. But we'll skip ahead and go a little faster with the 223. The one before was the 7 Remington Magnum. All right, now that we got the measurements on paper, and most of these that I've done off screen, but for the two that you've seen me do, we're going to use The World of Cartridges by Guns Digest and go through it using those measurements I took. Now, it's going to be kind of hard considering the fact I don't have a physical copy, so I will try to pin those pages on the screen for you as we go. All right, we're going to use the bullet sheet that you can see on screen, either here or there, most likely over here, to look through what we're going to go through. Now, first, we got to look at the bullet diameter. We're going to look at the bullet diameter because once we figure out which bullet it is, or at least the diameter, it will help us break down what else can we go through. All right, we're going to start with the bullet diameter first. All right, bullet diameter is about 284. Okay, let's see. Okay, 284 is a pretty big use. Okay, there are quite a bit of 284 diameter bullets. All right, now that means we gotta increase our search. Let's look at the neck diameter. Okay, we are 308. Okay. Okay, it doesn't look like we got a 308 in that. Let's see. Okay, so the next one we'll go to is the neck. Okay, we got 312. Let's see. All right. All right, looks like we might have a 7mm Weatherby Magnum. That, we still got plenty of measurements to go. Okay, shoulders, got 447. Okay, that's quite a big difference for that. So, hmm, must have measured wrong for the shoulders. Okay, let's try the body or the base. 500. Okay, got 511 for 7mm Weatherby Magnum, but we also have a contender with the 7mm Remington Magnum. Okay, now we'll check rim diameter. Weatherby Magnum's rim is about 530, and we measured at 529, but the Remington Magnum measures at 225. It's pretty close. All right, because of that, we'll try one more measurement to see which it is, and that'll be case length. Since the 7mm Weatherby Magnum and the 7mm Remington Magnum are pretty similar in size, we're going to do case length to be the final judge. 247. Okay, let's see. I mean, Remington is the closest one with length. The Weatherby is a little bit longer. So it's looking as if the Remington Magnum might be the correct one. Quick measuring at the shoulders. 471. Looks like it might be the Remington Magnum, but we'll try one more thing. Rim thickness. 0.059. Let's see. Looks like the Remington Magnum is the closest one to it. Alright, now a brief history of cartridges that I've shown you thus far. Alright, the 223 Remington came out in 1957 as an experimental military cartridge for the Armalite Rifle 15, but most of you know it as the AR-15. It was later then adopted by the US military as 5.56, all cartridges in the M193 in the year 1964. Alright, the Winchester 3030 was the first American small-bore, smokeless propellant sporting cartridge. It was designed by Winchester and was first seen on the market in 1895. The reason why it's called the Winchester 3030 is because it's a 30 caliber bullet with a 30 grain of smokeless powder that propels it. Alright, the 9mm Luger, or the 9mm Parabellum. This was introduced in 1902, and it was so good that the Germans' Navy adopted it in 1904, then the Germans' Army in 1908. Germany made it look so good that it was later adopted by every non-communist power. Alright, the 38 Special. This was developed by Smith & Wesson and adopted by the military and police modeled revolvers in 1902. This cartridge was designed specifically to replace the 38 Long Colt that was used by the US Army because they were just not satisfied with it. Alright, the 7mm Remington Magnum, introduced by Remington in 1962, brought up around the same time that the improved bolt-action rifle 700 series rifles came out. Alright, and for that ends the video. Thank you for watching, have a great night, and I'll see y'all next time.